What's going on, guys? It's Groove, back again with another letter from the 38 letters from J.D Rockefeller to his son. And today we're going over letter 37, always enrich your mind. So when it comes to enriching our mind, everybody knows that we have a physical appetite in life, but he says that we also have a spiritual appetite in life. He says that today we're in an era of satisfying the needs below the neck, whether it be your stomach or your sexual urges. But he says that nobody ever satisfies what's going on up here. And, he says he often hears people talk about how they'll sit there and they'll get mad when they miss lunch, right? Because, oh, I'm hungry. I need to, satisfy my hunger. But he says, when's the last time that you sat there and said that I need to satisfy my hunger for increasing my knowledge, enriching myself up top? And he talks about how it's really easy to spot somebody who's missing this spiritual nourishment in life. He said that these people are often, they live in depression, they live in failure. They're just very negative people in life. He says that these people, they lack the spiritual nourishment in life. So he says that the soul is the true home for each of us, and whether we become a good or bad person depends on its nurturing. And then he talks about how everything that enters your soul has a purpose, and it can either set you up for success in the future or it will destroy your future. So we need to make sure that we're nourishing our soul with good things in order to prepare us for a better future in life. And so with that, he talks about how the number one thing that you need to nourish your soul is positivity. So he talks about only the people who are positive in life ever reach it to the top in life, or almost to the top. It's just without a doubt, like, those are the people that make it in life, are those that nourish their soul with positivity, and they always have positive thoughts, and they just have that optimism that, whatever happens, they can do great and they can do better in life. So then in the last part of this letter, I was really surprised because he said he was friends with Carl Jung. Jung, excuse me. But if you don't know, I have a few of his books back there. Carl Jung, he wrote Dreams and Memories. He wrote The Red Book, and he also wrote A Man and His Symbols. I'm not sure if he wrote any others, but I have those three back there. And so Carl Jung was pretty much the forefather to modern psychology. So they were psychoanalysis back in the day, like him and Sigmund Freud, which most people don't like Freud, but Carl Jung was supposedly better than even him. And so everything that we know of today when it comes to psychology pretty much stemmed from that guy and a few other people back then. But he said he was friends with him. Jung told him that, everybody in this world can be changed. And the easiest way to change in this world is to change your vocabulary in life. He says that we need to just swap out words. So the worst word that you can have in your vocabulary is hate. And so he says that you need to swap it out with love. And then besides hate and love, he says that, it's pretty obvious of other words that you can swap out. So he says just, swapping out all the bad words, all the negative words and thought processes in your life, and then swapping those out for good ones. And he says, he's like, I don't need to go over all of them, but which ones you need to pull out of your life. And you can actually change your life by just taking these bad negative words out of your vocabulary and swapping them out for positive ones. And then not only that as well, when it comes to swapping out bad words for good ones, I actually picked up this book called The Mathematics of the Mind by Nouri Muhammad. And he goes deep. This whole book is dedicated to how to do that and the things you need to learn on how to clean your mind. But he even takes it a step further. So Carl Jung tells him to, swap out the negative words for positive ones. But Nouri Muhammad talks about how just removing the bad negative aspects of your life and the bad words can clean the mind. Like, you don't even need to put positive ones in the place. He says that, if you just get out of all the negativity out of your life, your mind will start to clean itself on its own. So you don't have to just constantly walk around like positive thoughts, positive thoughts. He says that if you just get the bad thoughts out of your mind will clean itself on its own, and you will start to be positive on your own. You don't even have to think about it. And he says it works the same with food as well. If you're constantly hurting, or if you're constantly sluggish, or you just, sit on the edge of the bed when you wake up in the morning, oh, I feel like crap. He's like, if you just clean up your food, stop eating McDonald's, stop eating the barbecue, stop eating the heavy foods. He talks about going to vegetables, but even if you don't want to do that, if you're just eating clean meats or clean vegetables or clean fruits, he's like, if you clean up your diet, your body will clean up itself. So he says it's the same thing with the mind. Again, you don't even need to think positive thoughts. If you just get rid of the negative in your life, your mind will start to go positive on its own. So then he just talks about how, it's like, where do you find the spiritual food? Like, it's like, okay, cool, I need to nourish my brain, but where do I do that? And he talks about, finding that information in books. And he said most people back then don't read, which was weird because, this letter was wrote in 1914, and it's just like, okay, well, if the majority of people aren't reading, what the hell y'all doing back then? Like they didn't have Netflix and social media and TikTok. It's like, what were you doing back then if they weren't reading? But he says most people don't read. And he says that, this nourishment for the mind and the soul isn't going to be found in business books. You have to go to, the spiritual books, the feel-good books, the books that are going to make you a better person in life. Those are the books that are going to nourish the soul to make you a better person in life. And then he just ends off saying that the mind is just like your body. So again, your body tells you when you're hungry, your body tells you when you're lusty, but he says that the mind never tells you when it needs to be nourished. So he says that, make sure that you're continuously nourishing your mind in this life, because that's just going to make you a better person overall. So then you can get to that next level of success even more in life. Again, I really, really enjoyed this letter because I'm all about spirituality. I'm all about getting the mind right, reading books on self-development, and just to know that he's like, this is super important, because he's all about money and business, but he's like, it would be, if it wasn't for the mind and being positive and understanding this stuff, he would have never reached that level in life. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this letter. Go ahead and leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll catch you guys in that next one. Peace.